Alright, so now we're going to go over foam rolling. I have a couple foam rollers here. One that's a little spiky, that's kind of beside the point. One that's more firm, one that's softer. Okay, this has a little more give to it. If you're new to foam rolling, start with this one. If you have some experience with it, you can go to a harder material. I'm going to demonstrate with this one for now. Now, what I want to do is just use this either as like our daily routine, something we do. It can be just 5 minutes a day, or we can do it throughout the week, maybe once or twice a week, whatever you need. So it's really just dependent on you personally and your individual needs. So I want to start by rolling out the glutes. So I'm going to lean to one side, just kind of go back and forth here. You may not feel too much, especially on the glutes with a softer roller. That's why you want to have the firmer one. If you're, like I said, if you're new, using this for the IT band is going to be a lot more forgiving than the firm one. So once we kind of get a little general warm up, go around different spots, different areas. If it feels tender, you can kind of roll through that. Now, once it's a little warmed up, now we're going to go ankle over the knee, and I'm focusing on the same side. So I don't want to be over here. The leg that's up is the glute that I'm rolling. So I can use this. I'm going to hold on here and just kind of tilt, leaning sideways, going back and forth. You can turn more and get the outer hip and glute med right there. Going back and forth. Now anywhere between 10 to 20 rolls is enough. You can do more, you can do less. It's really based on you. Then after we do both sides of the glutes, we're going to go into the hamstring. So I'm going to put one leg over. Like I said, if you're new, you can start just going back and forth here. There's less tension or pressure when I do both legs. And you want to start kind of in the middle of the muscle belly, so mid leg here. That way I don't have to, if I start here, I don't have to roll myself all the way down. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, a little weird. So make it a little easier on yourselves, kind of mid leg. Once you get it warmed up, if you need to, if it's tight, you can do both legs, and then we're going to go with one leg, back and forth here. Now what I want to do is, let's say I go 10 times forward and back, kind of go from my butt to my knee. Then I'll pick sides of the muscle. Now I'm going to get the outer hamstring here, going back and forth. We're going to do this about 10 times each. Once you do the 10, then we'll go on the inside. So I'm going to roll over, try to get the inside of the hamstring kind of working towards the adductors and the groin there. Going about 10 times. And 10 is a rough estimate. It's whatever you need, like I said. That's going to be a common theme. So just, this whole video is prefaced with based on you. So I don't have to keep saying it because I don't want to keep saying it. It's annoying. Let's go on the calf now. Same thing, mid calf. If you're really tight or you're new to this, go 2 legs. There we go, I'm repeating myself, I'm doing it again. Then we're gonna cross this leg over, putting more weight on that calf, and going back and forth. So like I said, stick in the middle, and if you need to, you can actually pick segments. So let's say I just wanna work the top of the calf for right now because it's really tender. And I am picking myself up a little bit here to put some more weight on that hand or the calf. Then if I want to get a little bit lower towards the Achilles and the soleus, we can do that there. Or you can kind of roll the whole thing based on you. Now with the softer one, I do like to go side to side a little bit, just like we did with the hamstring, kind of picking the outer side of the calf and now the inner calf here. And we're going to do that same thing, both sides. Once you do both sides, now we're going to roll over to our stomach and we're going to roll the quad. So mid quad there, you can go both legs, kind of ease into it. Once it starts to feel a little easier, then we can go picking one side. Now what I'll do is I'll pick up my opposite leg. So if I want to do my left side, I'm going to have my right leg here on the floor and I'm just going to kind of push myself forward and back. And I like to work myself down rather than doing that whole mid leg like I did for the hamstring, just because I find it's a little bit easier than rolling yourself like this. I know it's a great view, but actually no butts. It's all butts. Alright, so doing the top part of the quad and hip here, working your way down, 10 rolls, kind of get closer to the knee. Might feel a little more tender. Then what we'll do, same thing we did with the hamstring. I'm going to get the outside, the outer quad, that vastus lateralis. That's going to be a little bit more tender because it's right by the IT band. And then we're going to go on the inside here. Try to get this little area right there by the knee. And how much weight you pick up is up to you, depending on how much pressure you need. Then we're going to work our way inside the leg on the adductors and the groin here. I like to really give my knee a hug, bring it up, and then we're going to kind of roll side to side here. You can extend the leg out. You can kind of bring it back up. You can reach it down. Just kind of explore wherever you might feel a little tender or tight. After we do that for both sides, then we're going to go to the IT band. So that IT band stands for your ischium to your tibia, these two bones here. And it's this connective tissue that goes all the way down there, separating the quad and the hamstring, the glute. So we're just going to kind of work our way sideways here. Just like we do with the quad, all the way. You want to try to get the hip. If you feel a little more tender here, kind of roll back and forth there. You can move the leg a little bit. We're just going to go back and forth. Ideally, till it starts to feel a little bit easier. So if you're really sore, this can help. There we go. And then we'll do that for both sides. And for the back, I really like to get more of the upper back with the foam roller. If you're feeling tender on the low back, what you can do is we'll lean to the side and kind of get a little bit of that QL, a little bit of that psoas, just kind of rotating side to side here. If you feel kind of tense there. And you know, explore. You may not know you're tight there until you get in this position. Just kind of moving around, easy peasy. Then I want to roll it up to the upper back. So that mid back, the thoracic spine right there. Give yourself a big hug, create a lot of surface area, and we're gonna lift the hips up, rolling back and forth here. You can go on one side. We'll do, let's say, 10, 20 rolls there, and you can kind of work your way more to the side. Get the lat here, underneath the shoulder blade. You can completely go over here after you do both sides, and we'll just do the lat. Now, I don't even need to pick my hips up. I may feel tender, so I'll kind of pick a spot. I can move my arm around, just reach. You can let it relax, whatever feels good. And sometimes maybe just move the foam roller rather than you moving around the foam roller. It might feel a little bit easier. And you can kind of work different areas, different spots there. And then once you get into that, then you can kind of pick the hips up a little bit, put a little bit more weight on that lat. So we're gonna do that for both sides. Now the last thing we wanna do is we're gonna get our firmer roller, or if you have a lacrosse ball, that works great too. And we're just gonna, probably even better, and we're just gonna roll the bottom of the foot. Really important because our calves and our feet and our ankles can get really stiff. So we kind of want to massage this area, get that fascia, that outer layer of the muscle, that sheath. Just kind of loosen up, get things moving, make it a little bit more malleable so we can kind of relieve some stiffness, get that foot moving a little bit better. And if you have the lacrosse ball, what I like to do is I like to go from the heel to the big toe, back and forth, and then we'll go from the second toe down to the heel, kind of work our way each digit, and then kind of hang on the center, kind of shift side to side, and really just explore, mess around with it. You may want to spend a little bit more time here, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, whatever you may need. If you feel more tender by the heel, hang out by the heel. If you feel more tender by the forefoot, hang by the forefoot, and you can get a little stretch on the toes and ball of the foot that way too. Stretching out the calf and the heel a little bit. All right, so that's our little rolling out, foam rolling session. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Maybe learned a thing or two. And I hope it helps. Like I said, just experiment, roll things out. You're not gonna hurt yourself for the most part, especially if you're erring on the side of caution. Things will hurt or feel uncomfortable or kind of gunky. But for example, like the ribs, it's gonna feel very uncomfortable, but then you just kind of alter how much weight you wanna put on it. So if I'm here, and I don't want to compress too much on my rib, just kind of lift yourself a little bit, just put a little bit of pressure there and kind of roll that serratus, because that tends to get stuck on the rib cage, making it a little bit harder for the shoulder blades to kind of glide and move how they should. But like I said, that's our session. test it out, feel it out,